Welcome to Trending Topics, where we discuss the hottest happenings and give you our hottest takes. I'm your host, Emily Owen, and I'm joined by our reporter and anchor, Gabe Glassman, and up for discussion tonight, our latest theories and predictions for the second drop of Stranger Things Season 5, which is Volume 2, releasing on Christmas Day. So we watched Volume 1. I brought my handy-dandy notebook because I wrote down everything that I thought that I needed to discuss and questions that I have going into Volume 2.
There's so many questions. There's so many, talking points that we could start with. I want to talk about Mr. What's-It.
Yes.
I want to talk everything about Mr. What's-It because
Yes.
honestly, that scene, that may be top 3, maybe top 1 Stranger Things moments where you just see them just trying to close the scene. Just everything about that scene is just perfect perfection. I mean, I love it so much. But really, I mean, Volume 1 did it for me. Volume 1 was really good.
So I was about to ask, did it live up to your expectations? I just feel
100%.
like the theatrics, the emotions, like everything was just so much better in this. They gave Vecna like a 4-inch waist. I mean, he had a vicious diet between Season 4 and Season 5. His waist is literally like this big, and it makes him more scary to me.
Well, if you remember, at the end of Season 4, at the end, Vecna gets burned by fire. I think.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. So
when he put his little, I don't want to call it a hand because it's not a hand, but he has literally this
claw,
I
basically,
guess.
yeah.
When he stuck it in that man's face, I was like, oh, this is going to get real bad.
I mean, he looks scary.
And they said that it was going to be violent this season.
Yeah,
so
100%. And I think where I hear the Duffer Brothers talking, where they wanted to make him scary, I think they referenced, Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Making him just this ominous creature. And
Vecna's so much scarier than Darth Vader.
100%. When you see him walk through.
He's very dramatic.
It's awesome. The biggest talking point I think we have to talk about, Will has powers.
Yeah, that's literally what my number one talking point is.
Guys.
But how does he have them? Where are they coming from?
That's the question that I think that we're going to see answered in Volume 2.
Yeah.
Something's always been there, right? The point that I wanted to bring up with his powers is it's different to 11. It's different to 1. Someone described it a lot.
They still have the nosebleeds, though.
Yes,
they have the nosebleeds.
So they're all still connected. Mm-hmm. But I think Will's powers, someone described them as like puppeteering, where he's able to control them a lot more. And you're talking about the Mind Flayer. Yeah, the Mind Flayer, yes. So I think that Will comes into this story, coming out of his shell. And so I'm really excited to see the answers to the questions that we have surrounding his character and all those storylines. I really just love the character development too.
Yeah.
I think I think we said in our first thing that you're able to show so many storylines and you're still able to follow along. Mm-hmm. I think all of the storylines that we were able to see really connected. Where are we now? We're not sure.
So I have a lot to say, and my notes are literally all over the place because I was writing these down as I thought about them throughout the week and then today.
Probably for the last month,
I feel like my top one is that Vecna, he's not trying to destroy Hawkins, but he's trying to rewrite time itself. As a concept.
That's a decent theory.
Because the Upside Down is still Hawkins in 1983, but we're living in 1986 right now.
1987.
Either way, we're not in 83 anymore.
They say no 83. Yeah, 100%.
And that's what I said. The Upside Down is Hawkins frozen at a specific moment, and another reason that makes me think of that is Vecna's obsession with clocks.
Yeah.
And why everybody's about to be attacked, they hear the clock ringing, and the clocks never move in the Upside Down.
Yeah, that's a real. When you
Gabe
put it
is impressed, and that's a lot because he's obsessed with Stranger Things.
When you put it that way, that actually does make a lot of sense.
Well, and another thing is I'm going back and I'm rewatching. I started all the way from Season 1 and I'm rewatching, and there was a scene in Mr. Clark's classroom where they were talking about wormholes and alternate dimensions. So why would they have focused so much on that if that wasn't a concept that we could potentially be dealing with?
That's another point I do want to bring up really quickly is that Volume 1, I really love how Volume 1 so far has referenced a lot of the previous seasons. We thought, maybe maybe one or two moments, but no, they've really gone back and started to connect all the dots. So I really enjoyed that part, and I think it's obviously going to have something to do with something in the previous season, including eight. Including eight.
I have her in here.
You have her. We're gonna get there.
I have a specific bullet point on her, but more back to that is you can't change the past, but you can make sure that it ends correctly, I guess, in a sense, for Vecna, like since it's paused and everything. And my theory along with this is that Will is going to act like a living bridge between the timelines. So for him to end Vecna, he's going to have to sever his connection to Vecna.
I'm trying to think of how they would.
I'm blowing Gabe's mind right now.
Well, I would, yes, but also I'm trying to think of how, like, other solutions on how that could happen. So we don't. It's just gonna be carnage.
And obviously we both talked about how the Mind Flayer he's the real villain. Vecna's just a pawn. And really the only time that we see the Mind Flayer is what, like season 1?
Season 1 or 2.
See him.
Season 4.
We see him destroy Billy.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I want to talk about is I know they said that Billy was never confirmed to come back, anything like that. But I keep thinking about it more, and we're going to see the Mind Flayer come back, and the Mind Flayer was realistically Billy was the only target the Mind Flayer really had. And you notice when Billy dies and he changes characters and everything, he's not the same. So what if he's still stuck in Hawkins 1983 in the Upside Down? We just don't know how to get to him. Well,
you also have all of the Vecna, gathering children, I guess.
Yeah.
Mr. Whatsit, a.k.a. probably the most iconic Stranger Things character of all time.
I just really want to see Billy come back.
I would love to see Billy come back.
He is a fine man to look at.
I would love to see Billy come back. I love the Eddie references that we get in season 5. I love that,
He's another point in here. I feel like he's going to be like a vampire. I feel like he's going to come back. I don't know. And his reasoning why I think that is he's going to be tying the supernatural effects to season 5. Because season 5 is just it's supernatural to me. So if he comes back, then that makes sense. And no one has confirmed or denied if he's going to be in this or not.
I think we're going to see a lot more revivals than we think we are going to get. So I think that'll be fun.
My major character deaths, and we both were discussing this, it's either going to be Will or 11. One of those is going to have to go. And if it is not them, in the new trailer that they released, and we've got 2 points to talk about this, in the Volume 2 trailer that they released, you hear Steve and Dustin talking, and they say, if you die, I die. And so then the Duffer Brothers were on Jimmy Fallon, and they had all of the, what are those little characters
Funko
called?
Pops. Yeah.
And so Jimmy was asking them to illustrate how this all ends with the Funko Pops, and they push Steve's character right off of Jimmy's desk.
They push or it falls off. It's right on the edge where they put it. I'm not sure if they pushed him, but you bring up the best point. I think I can't say what my theory is. I think I definitely agree with you that Will, 11, or Vecna.
There's going to be a major character.
I think two of them are going. Yeah. Steve or Dustin is going. I think someone said this theory. This is a theory that I've said. Someone said that they are showing, more or less main characters, like Robin, for example. They show Robin is a character that we saw a lot in season 3, obviously, but we didn't see a lot in season 4. But now she's half the episode in season 5.
Well, and I feel like a lot of her storyline is going to be in the hospital with her girlfriend. Does she have a name? She's like a nurse or something.
I forget her name.
No one knows that she's out yet except for Will, correct? So that's kind of a secret that she has a girlfriend at the moment. But they focus so much on that and her being Sadie Sink's, Max, I always forget her name. They focus so much on her being her nurse. Yes. But if you remember, I think it was the first drop of Volume 1, they showed Max being carried. Who was he being carried by?
Lucas.
Yes.
Lucas.
Out of the hospital after is it a Dema dog? Is that what they call them?
Dema dog, yeah.
It was chasing him out of the hospital. So I feel like the hospital's going to play a big role in this next volume somehow.
Well, yeah, because we've been there quite a bit. We were there when the Wheeler, the Wheeler
the
parents
mom and the dad are there.
They're still there. They have not left the hospital. So how do they play a role?
I don't know how the mom made it out, truthfully, because that was very violent.
Don't know how either of them.
Don't know how that happened, but
Miss Wheeler looked rough after that fight.
Yeah.
Props to her though for fighting Corrigan, but
okay. So I talked about how I think Vampire Eddie's gonna come back. We talked about the hospital. I want to go back. I want to talk about The Rock because Max and Holly are in The Rock. You know about The Rock and why.
The
Vecna
cave.
won't go into it. I call it a rock because it literally looks like a boulder.
Are we going to go into it?
We can, yeah.
We can.
Gabe's going to give us information on what he knows.
So if you go into season 5, there's a very big point where Max is in the cave where Mr. What's-It, kind of in this alternate reality. That's where Max's hideout is, and Vecna, Henry Creel in this reality, it's the only place where we see him scared. In Stranger Things: The First Shadow, we talked about this in our preview.
This is the play,
and I was really looking forward. I was really hoping that we would get Stranger Things: The First Shadow references.
Yeah.
This is the biggest reference that you can have. That cave is where Henry Creel found his powers in Nevada. This is the cave
the dramatic
in Nevada.
Music.
Yeah, dramatic music. So I don't think Max knows this. I don't think Max knows this.
She just knows he
She
will
just
stay
knows
away
that
from
he
it.
won't. Yeah. So it's the only safe place that's in this reality. So that comes a major factor. It's a huge factor that we're going to see coming forward. And I think in the teaser that I sent, we're filming this on Sunday. The teaser that I sent you today, we see that shot again, the spyglass looking to the door
And
with all
it's
with all the kids walking in.
Yes.
And it's the same. So Max is still there. And I wonder if Holly's working with Max because Holly was also in that clip. So I wonder if she's kind of playing like a double agent role.
Yeah.
But overall, if there's anything to keep an eye on, it's that cave. It's 100%.
Well, and another thing too is you bring up the telescope. When Holly looked into it the first time, it is literally the shape of the cave. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not notice that. That's a really good
eye.
eye.
So she looks through it, and it is literally the shape of the cave. So I'm wondering why that is the case. I want that. I'm going for like the more minuscule questions. I want those answered. Like, why is this telescope the shape of the cave?
Duffer Brothers, please call us. Please email me, and we can discuss. But also, just sticking on the First Shadow references, we saw a couple of Easter eggs there that are worth mentioning. That one is worth mentioning in the final scene where Vecna's in Hawkins and they're fighting. When Joyce Byers goes to confront Vecna doesn't harm her harm her, but she pushes her out of the way, just basically lifts her up and goes.
Well, I'm going to stop you right there because that brings me to another point is this why we keep going back to the time of when they're like in high school? It's like all of these kids' parents, like what was her deal with Vecna back like in the day, like when they were in high school?
Yeah, so Henry Creel was
something's there.
Yes, so this is all the First Shadow references actually.
Well, I don't know that, Gabe. I didn't see it.
The First Shadow takes us to when Joyce, Hopper, Henry Creel, when they were in high school. I want to know if that was a show of mercy from Vecna for Joyce. Does Vecna / Henry Creel / one still remember Joyce? Because Joyce showed Henry Creel compassion when they were in high school.
Yeah.
And the Oklahoma poster that's in there, Max kind of references like, I don't know what it means. It's because Joyce was very big into theater, that's kind of a big point as well in the play. So I want to know how much of an impact it's going to have in Volume 2 and the finale. I'm not ready for the finale, but I think that it comes, it's very important that for the people that didn't get to watch First Shadow, people need to realize that, these people knew each other in high school. Well, Henry Creel knew Joyce and Hopper and other adults nearby. Does Henry Creel, Vecna, or one remember those people and what they were able to provide to them?
Well, and the only like kind of glimpse that we see that in the show is was it the same flyer that you're talking? No, we like go back in time for a second, and they're like in the high school. I think Max is looking.
It was the
and you
flyer.
See, you see their names, and like that's all that we have from that. So I feel like
there's definitely a reference there that will be answered. Well, I don't know if it's going to be answered. I think they probably will answer it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people weren't able to see foreshadow, and I think that's important.
And I want to talk about how basically Henry and One and Vecna and Mr. Whatsit, they're all the same person, but they're not.
You say Mr. Whatsit?
Yeah, is that not his name?
Mr. What? I'm making the reference. There's the eyeball somewhere over here. It's the greatest.
Anyways, I don't know. I feel like they all have like different, I don't want to say obligations, but like they're all there for different missions. Like Mr. Whatsit, is he trying to save the children from Vecna? Because when he brings Holly into this different world, he hands her a box and it's got a record player. What were these, tape cassettes or something?
It was like her favorite song.
Yeah, he's giving her music basically, and that's what wakes them up from the upside down / Vecna's, ruling, whatever you want to call it.
They're still running everyone's still running up that hill.
Yeah,
honestly.
Why did he give her that, knowing that that's what will get her away from Vecna? And this alternate world that they're living in, I have a theory that when they go into the upside down and it's just Hopper and 11 and they see that big wall, it literally looks like brain. That's what I call it.
Yes.
So they know that that's a wall there. They don't know what's on the other side of that, but when Dustin and Steve are going under, they have some sort of like ultrasonic radar where Dustin can see that wall makes a full circle.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if inside of that circle is where this alternate world is, where Mr. Whatsit is.
I think that's another question. Like we said, there's a lot of there's all these questions that I really hope that we get answered. It just makes me more excited for Volume 2. Volume 2 and the finale. Volume 2 coming out on Christmas Day. Finale coming out New Year's Eve on Netflix. Is there what else? Is there anything that you're hoping for that comes out of these? Let's talk about the next 3 episodes.
This would be my ending. I don't necessarily want to see Vecna die in a sense. I feel like Vecna is a good person. He just has the mind flayer controlling him.
I completely agree.
So I would like to see the mind flayer die, if that's a possibility.
It could be a possibility.
And then this goes back to the wormhole theory. I'm like really big on this because I could totally see this happening. The finale could be where it's a reset to reality where Hawkins, like we know it, doesn't exist. So like none of this actually technically happened. There's also a theory going around that all of this is like a dream and they're playing the game or something.
Oh, that would make me upset. That would make me upset.
I don't want something stupid like that. Like I want something to I want to cry. I want my mind to be blown. Like I want to be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is ending type thing. But I'm really big on the wormhole theory, and I feel like is her name Callie? Something.
I don't know.
I think it's something like that.
We may want to look.
I feel like her powers are going to uncover hidden truths, unlock key moments that we don't know about.
Well, someone said that 11 plus 1 plus 8 equals 20.
Okay, well I don't know about it.
And then Dungeons and Dragons,
yes.
D20. So I think to defeat the Mind Flayer, maybe you need to use all 3 of those powers. So that goes back to
my theory is, what if this is literally just him playing the game and none of this happened?
But I understand that.
I know, I don't know.
This is great marketing.
And
for Dungeons and Dragons.
I have 2 final things I want to talk about. What is Holly's role going to be? Because I mentioned in our first set
no clue.
that they focus on her a lot, and Vecna goes after kids with trauma. So what's her trauma going to be?
Well, I mean, she did go through I guess the Demogorgons. I guess they went after her.
They went after
before all
the
the crazy family stuff.
Yeah.
You would think it would have to be growing up in that household with Mike and Will and Dustin and
She
Lucas.
kind of has daddy issues too.
Potentially, but I'm not really sure. They don't really show him a lot. Yeah. But to be fair, when the attack was happening, he was just outside playing golf. That's fun. But I think that all these kids have something in common where they're all in the same class. So how is that connection there? Well, so that's another theory where Holly, I think from the get-go, Holly is being portrayed as a main character.
Yeah, now she is for
100%.
Sure.
So I think there's going to be focus on her. There's going to be focus on Robin, like we said before. Dustin, Steve, Will, all those guys are key players.
Barb comes back?
What?
What if Barb comes back?
I think every single...
I know technically all of these... I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but my brain is literally going 90 miles per hour. What if all of these people who are taken by Vecna are still living in the Upside Down?
Oh my gosh.
I know technically they bury all of them and their bodies there, but do you remember in season 1 when Will died, they gave the fake body in the river?
Yeah.
I
remember
so
that.
What if we're dealing with a situation like that and everybody's still alive?
If they bring back Barb,
and
I think you will see Stranger Things fans across the world unite.
Yeah, I could easily see that.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb here. What if Dart saves Dustin somehow? If you guys don't remember Dart is Dustin's little lizard that grows up and he goes into a demodog.
I think maybe that's the craziest. Craziest theory that I think.
Well,
I
was watching the first couple episodes of season 1 the other day, and I was like, why are they so focused on Dart? But I mean, that gets them into the Upside Down. But what if Dart comes back?
That's the craziest. That just blew my mind. That just blew my mind completely, Emily.
So crazy. Do you have any final thoughts?
I don't have any final thoughts. I will ask this. I believe this is the last preview that we will do because I am leaving for New Year's. So what is the final take when Stranger Things ends? Well,
our final take when we come back is we're going to see how right I was about any of this.
You will see me in a movie theater on seeing Stranger Things the finale. I'm excited about it.
I'll be at work.
Sorry.
And then I'm going to come home and watch the Jonas Brothers concert on TV.
See,
I'm going to watch this on TV because I don't think that my emotions are going to be able to handle. I get overstimulated very easily, and seeing that in a theater with a bunch of people, because I have a feeling it probably will be sold out.
It was really...
I don't think I can do that.
I did not get tickets for New Year's Eve.
No.
I got tickets for New Year's Day. It was extremely difficult to source tickets. It was extremely difficult.
They talk about, or they show Jonathan, they really hone in on him with the ring. What if Jonathan is just holding the ring for Hopper to give to Joyce?
He's holding space. He's holding space for the ring. Oh my gosh. Give me Stranger Things 5 Volume 2 now. That's it.
Well, that's it for tonight's Trending Topics. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow me on my socials at EmilyOwenWX. We'll see you next time.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True crime more your style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.